What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here with you guys today, running through a complete schedule prediction post-bye week for the Browns. We'll go game by game, and I will give you guys my wins and losses. Now, these types of videos are always kind of fun, a little bit gaggy, because we have no idea who's going to be playing in a couple weeks. Things like injuries dramatically change stuff. But I do think it's a fun little thing to look at and go, all right, where are the wins and where are the losses? So let's start by looking at the remaining schedule. Dolphins, Bills, and Bucs with Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to be biased and say if the Browns want any playoff hopes, they have to go 2-1 in that stretch. They have to give Deshaun Watson a team with 5 wins. And then when Watson returns for the Texans game, he's got the Bengals, the Ravens, the Saints, the Commanders, and the Steelers to round out the rest of the season. So with that, my first schedule prediction, the Dolphins week 10. Give me a win. Give it to me. Browns knock off the Dolphins. Miami's got a bit of a belly full syndrome right now. They had a close win against the Bears last week in Chicago. This time, I think the Browns rally after having a rough start to the season, pick up their first back-to-back win of the season. Kevin Stefanski improves to 3-0 off the bye. I just think with the Browns defense finally starting to look like this defense we were all waiting to see, it could be a great moment coming off the bye, getting a little bit healthy. Jacoby Brissett, revenge game. Just putting it out there. Now, we're going to have a Browns-Dolphins watch party here at the channel. If you have not joined us for a watch party yet this year, I promise you, you are missing out. So unless you're going to be at Hard Rock Stadium, and even if you're there, I've had people tune in from First Energy, believe it or not. So make sure you are rocking and rolling with us during our watch party for this game. Guarantee you have a good time. If the Browns are winning, you better come join us. All right, let's move on here. Schedule prediction for the Bills game now. I got to give a loss here. I can't have the Browns go undefeated, right? I got to have some head on my shoulders right now. Now, it's very difficult to say what the outcome of this game will be without knowing the quarterback of this game, okay? Adam Schefter, we've all heard that Josh Allen is dealing with a UCL injury. Now, he did not practice today. Now, we're recording this during our live show on Thursday, so maybe when you're watching this, you've got some more up-to-date information on his status for this Sunday against the Vikings. But if Josh Allen can't go this week and it bleeds into next week, it's a revenge game for Case Keenum. The Browns traded Keenum away, remember, to get like a 7th-round pick because they did not have any aspirations of having him be the starting quarterback for a good chunk of the season before they even knew the Watson suspension. But pick a quarterback for me. Would you rather have Jacoby Brissett or Case Keenum? I mean, imagine if the Browns never traded Keenum and he was the quarterback for 12 games this season. I wonder how different things could be. Brissett, in my opinion, like, of all the quarterbacks who went to a new team this offseason, I think Brissett's been the best of them. He's been better than Matt Ryan. He's been better than Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson. Russell has been underwhelming, but you can really make the argument that Jacoby Brissett has been the best quarterback addition by any team so far this year. And when Deshaun Watson returns, the Browns might have the number 1 and the number 2 QB additions in one offseason, and you may get 3 by moving on from Baker. All right, let's move on to the next schedule prediction. So after a win against Miami and a loss against the Bills, they return home against the Bucs, and they get a win, baby. The Bucs are just bad. Can we just call it what it is right now? The Bucs are bad at football. They are lucky to have picked up a win last week. The Rams choked it away, going big cover defense and prevent defense at the end, and Tom Brady pulled off a vintage Tom Brady drive. But do not let that cloud what was an awful previous 59 minutes of football for Tampa Bay. The Bucs offense right now is 25th in the NFL in scoring, 18 points per game. They still have guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. They're not all hurt or something. Usually that happens when they're all injured. They've had some injuries here or there, but for the most part, the usual suspects have all been healthy this year for Tampa. Now, their defense is still rock solid, 5th in the NFL. But for the Browns, they've had no problem kind of knifing through defenses. They average 25 points per game themselves. So this will just come down to the Browns' defense not letting Tom Brady run all over them. And if this season continues the way it is, maybe we finally do find when Tom Brady is just, his time is done. Time for him to graduate and go play in the senior league. All right, next game here. The Texans game. Deshaun Watson returns. It's a win. I am a little bit nervous, to be honest with you guys, because we have had a run of revenge games for quarterbacks not go to plan. Remember week 1, Russell Wilson returning to Seattle? That was a loss. Baker against his old team, of course, a loss. Joe Flacco, week 1 against the Ravens with the Jets. That was a loss. So quarterbacks have not gotten revenge, but the Texans look like the worst team in football. They're going to be the first pick in the draft. The Browns better clown Houston with Watson back. All right, let's move on to the next game, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals, this time on the road. Deshaun Watson's second game. I'm going to make it a loss. I hate myself for doing this, but I do have to call it how I see it. And I do think the Bengals will get a little bit frisky, we like to say here at the channel down the stretch, and they could pull off a game where they ruin Stefanski's perfect streak against the Browns, and at home, Joe Burrow gets his revenge. All right, what about the Ravens game, though? Call it a win. Call it a win for the Browns against the Ravens. These two teams, the Browns and the Ravens, they've had some close battles the last couple of years, and it's really come down to, a lot of times, the home team. Remember last year, they went Browns against the Ravens, bye against the Ravens, home then away. Browns won the second time at home, mostly against Huntley, but nevertheless, I think the Browns can take care of business splitting these two key divisional matchups. All right, speaking of the AFC North, which team do you hate the most? Is it the Ravens, the Bengals, or the Steelers? I love this division because a lot of other divisions, say the NFC West, like Seahawks and Cardinals fans, they don't care about each other. Texans fans don't hate the Titans or stuff like that. But in the AFC North, it's a dogfight. It really is. It is who's going to, like, you see me, look at the other guy type of fight. So let me know which team you hate the most in the AFC North. All right, let's revisit our schedule predictions now. Moving on to the Saints game on Saturday, right after Christmas, or right before Christmas. Week 16, give me a win. This was a game before the season started I was concerned about because I thought the Saints would be good. The Saints, like the Bucs, they're just bad. So this better be a win at home for Cleveland, who has struggled at home this season. Losses against the Chargers and the Patriots and the Jets, but hopefully they can snap back and pick up a nice win in front of the fans going into Christmas. Week 17 at the Commanders, win, but I'm nervous. This gives me major trap game vibes, right? This is a game where Taylor Heineke gets the team riled up and he puts on a late win to maybe buy himself an extra year of contention to be Washington's quarterback. I am nervous about this game. I want that on the record now. I was nervous about the Falcons game back in August, and we saw why. This is the Falcons game of the second half of the season. Hopefully, it's a different result. All right, before we get any further, I got to tell you all about BetUS. Our sportsbook partner has a great deposit bonus for new users. When you go to chatsports.com/bet, use promo code Browns125, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus when you use promo code Browns125. So if you want to put some money down, put your money where your mouth is, bet on the Browns to win the AFC North. Pretty good odds right now. Make sure you make all of your picks over at BetUS. All right, moving along here, Week 18 to round out the schedule. Before I even say win or loss, let's look what we've done so far. This team is currently 3-5. I have a win against the Dolphins, 4-5. A loss against the Bills, 4-6. Bucs win makes it 5-6. Texans win makes it 6-6. Bengals loss makes it 6-7. Ravens win 7-7. Saints win 8-7. First time above 500 since week 1. A week 17 win makes it 9-7. And they go 10-7, baby. Give it to me. Against the Steelers. On the road. To cement the worst season under Mike Tomlin's supervision in Pittsburgh. The Cleveland Browns go 10-7 to round out the year. Now, I do have to be a tiny bit of a rain cloud on our party right now and go, the Browns have lost the tiebreakers to the Chargers, which look like they will be a wild card team. The Chiefs are going to win the division. The Jets, who look like a wild card team. The Bills probably win the division. The Patriots, who all of a sudden have some life after a baddish stretch after the Browns win. The Dolphins, TBD. The Bills, TBD. So it looks like there are 3 playoff teams in the AFC East right now. 4 playoff teams. All 4 teams are playoff caliber teams. And the Browns right now have tiebreakers over none of them. They need to get one against Miami this week. All right, what is your end of the season record prediction? Let me know in the comments section. I am right there on the line of 9-8, 10-7. Ultimately, I pushed over to 10-7 for some good vibes. So I've got the Browns finishing 10-7. I don't know if that's enough to make the playoffs. The Dolphins were a team that won 10 games and missed the playoffs. It happens. It happens all the time. Not all the time. Once every 2 or 3 years. I hope that's not the case this year. But losing those tiebreakers to those key teams, like that Jets game, might be something we think about for a long time. All offseason long of just damn onside kick and Grant Delpit in coverage.